Okay, we are here again for a new episode. Okay, in our previous video, we talked about uh, the parts of the guitar. Yes. Okay, so we'll be continuing, and today we'll be focusing on the keys on the bass guitar. Okay, so join me. Okay, so let's start with an acronym, at least to get us used to the open frets of the bass guitar. Okay, so we have G, D, A, E, then B. Okay, so I think it's best to have an acronym to always make you remember. Okay, so we have guitars, desires, and encouragement. Basically, I think that works. Okay, so usually in music we make use of the first 7 letters of the alphabet, which are A to G. So every one of this has sharps apart from letter B and letter E. Okay, so if we have this as letter G, we have G, then this should be G sharp, then we have A. After the letter G, you go back to A. This is A sharp, or another way to call it is B flat. Then you have B, then this is C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, then you have F, and so on and so forth. So let's go to the next string, because these strings are counted from down upwards. Okay, so if we have this as letter G, guitarist desires. Okay, so we'll go to letter D. D, you have D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and so on, like that. Then guitarist desires an. So that from that letter A, you have A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, and so on. Then we go to guitarist desires and encouragement. Okay, so encouragement E. Then here, because we said earlier that apart from B and E, the rest of them have sharp. Okay, so this is E. Now you have the next one as F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and that continues like that. Then after that, basically, okay, so you have letter B. Okay, B has no sharp, so you go to letter C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, like that, and F, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I think having said that, then we can now go to our tonic surface. So we'll be working on key C, because that is like the first white key on the keyboard after a group of 2 black keys. Okay, so we'll pick that. And how do we get that? We said guitarist desires an. Okay, so let's pick from this place on the 3rd string. Okay, so this is A sharp, B. Then since B has no sharp, we go to our C. Okay, so this is where we are picking our root note. Okay, and when you go up, this is also our letter C. Okay, since we said basically, okay, so we have our letter B, then the next note should be letter C, since B has no sharp. Okay, so we'll move straight to our letter C. So to run that scale, you go to then the next octave. Okay. So we have the key C is our root note. Okay, so the scale for that is C, you have D, you have E, you have F, you have G, then A, B, C. That was the actual place I pointed to the last time. Okay, so C, we continue. It's just repeating the same thing you add from the top. Okay, so you have C, after C you have D, you have E, F here, then G, A, B, and C. Okay, I'm almost at the end of that. Okay, so but let me have a pause there. Okay, if you have been watching this video and you enjoy what you have been seeing, okay, please do so well, as this will also encourage us to do more. Okay, to subscribe, to share, and to like, because this is part of our encouragement to continue the work if this has been of value to you. Okay, so and make sure you watch to the end, because this will also, there are some things you still need to learn here as we continue. Okay, so okay, having said that, then we have okay, the notes there. So you have, if I need to play it backwards, so that is C, note C, note B, note A, note G. Here, that's on the second string, the string 2. You have note G, you have note F, so note E, then you have D, C, B, then A open. Okay, then the next one is A, then you have G, you have F, you have E, then you have D, then back to C, our root note. Okay, I want to assume this is clear enough. Okay, then if you have any parts you are not clear with, please in the comment section, so you can always drop some comments there, so that we'll know what to work on more for you, to serve you more. Okay, now having said that, we can now work on, maybe pick one other key and also do the same thing. Let's see if you actually followed us from the start. Okay, now let's work on what key. Let's work on G. Okay, let's pick G as the next key to work on. Okay, if we okay, so first let's get where our G is on the fretboard. Now, we said from the beginning, we said this already is note G. Okay, guitarist deserves an encouragement, basically. Okay, so this is note G already. When you block that, you have note G. Okay, so but I want to let us have a second G up here. Okay, so let's calculate that and see how we arrived at that. Okay, so we have guitarist deserves an encouragement. So let's look for our note G here. Okay, this is encouragement, that is E. Here you have F, here F sharp, then G. Okay, so I want to assume that you agree with me. Okay, now we have G, A, B, C, D, E, then F sharp, then we have note G again. Okay, so let me pick that again. So you have note G, A, so G, A, B, C, D, E, then you have F sharp, then back to our note G. Okay, so I can also look for another place. Okay, so since we've been working with this, we've touched here. Okay, so let's look for note G on this, our third string. So this is guitarist deserves an. So from this place now we have A, of course, A sharp, okay, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp. Then after F sharp we have our note G. So if you strum the open one, you notice we are getting the same answer. Okay, it's just that one is lower in pitch. Okay, so this do, then you also have this do, same sound. Okay, just a little bit deeper. Okay, so from here we have our notes G, A, B, C, D, E, then F sharp, then back to G. Okay, so I remembered I made mention of open notes. Okay, what are open notes? They are very simple. Okay, open notes are basically plucking the strings without holding any of these notes. So even if my hands, okay, like this, on the case of this G, when I said this is G, okay, I had to hold with my other finger and I had to hold a string down to make it sound. But in the case of an open string, okay, I just plucked the string and I have that sound ringing. Can you hear that? Okay, so you have note G, yeah, you also have note G, not holding anything. Okay, so I explained again. I said open strings are basically plucking a string. Okay, the note there already has done the job. Okay, so sometimes when you play, you don't need to hold the strings when you play open notes. Okay, I want to assume that is clear enough. Okay.